Hello, friends. It's time for math. And I wanted to add one thing about the share that I forgot to tell you. Um, Last time we did the share on the t-shirts, I got to see Austin's t-shirt. He's got a ramen noodles t-shirt. It was really great. And then KJ showed me his. It said hustle on it. It was really neat. So when we get back to the classroom, I can show you on my phone. I think I still have pictures of those. But please don't forget to send me a picture of a toy or something you enjoy doing while we're out on this break. Okay. And one more thing I wanted to show you. This one is Jamia's. Show you right here. This is a treat bag, a Valentine treat bag that Miss Bobby made for us. We want to say thank you, Miss Bobby. We love you so much. And I thought about doing them at parent pickup, but I didn't have enough time to get them on at last parent pickup. So I'm going to hold on to these. When we get back to the classroom, we'll pass these out for you. Okay, so this one's Jamia's. Again, thank you, Miss Bobby. We love you with our whole heart. Let's go on to math today. In math, we're working on measurement, and we actually skipped around on this. We started with the measuring with the ruler. There are two kinds of measurement. There's standard units and non-standard units. And let me show you what I mean when I say that. Okay, there are standard units and non-standard units. Now, a standard unit would be like a ruler. Remember the ruler that we had in the classroom? We passed them out and we used them to measure. It's got centimeters on one side and inches on the other. That's called standard unit of measurement. And when you use non-standard, that's when you use anything like, you can see here they used these cubes, these Unifix cubes. We have these in the classroom. Maybe we'll do some of these. In fact, if we were in the classroom, we'd do them today, but I don't have them there. And then we have, let's see, paper clips. Sometimes you can measure with paper clips, you see here. So instead of saying it's 4 inches long, you say it's 4 paper clips long. Here they use pennies to measure. Anything that is the same. You wouldn't want to use big rocks and little rocks because they're not all the same. So it'd be hard to measure big rocks and little rocks. They would have to be all of the same. So you could use pencils to measure. But only if they were all the same size, not short pencil and long pencil. They don't have to be those brand new out of the box pencils that haven't been sharpened yet. You could use your book, but only if that was the same book. You were using the same book to measure. You couldn't use a little book and then use a great big book because they're not the same units. The same size. You could use bricks. Bricks are about the same size. I'm trying to look around my house to see what I have that you could use. Tissue boxes, that'd be a good thing to use. If you had all the same size tissue boxes, you could measure with those. Lots of different things. You can use anything to measure as long as it's all the same size. What you're using to measure is all the same size. Okay, I think probably for our activity, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, probably definitely tomorrow. We'll do a paper activity on some non-standard units of measurement. Okay, I've got some of these Unifix cubes right here in our visual manipulatives. We may use those to measure some different things today or tomorrow. But for today, we're looking at what they have on the chapter on the page. So let's start with name and date. Today's the 18th. 21. There you go. Make this a little bigger so you can see it. All right. Number 1 says, listen and repeat the directions for me, okay? Put an X on the tallest one. Circle the shortest one, okay? This isn't very hard. You're just looking at them. And if you could draw like an invisible line across that tallest one, you can see that this is the tallest one, and it tells us to put an X right there. Please do that for me. And then it says circle the shortest one. Which one do you think is the shortest over here? Rylan? If you said this one, you're right. I'm going to circle the shortest one. Okay. And now we're on to number 2, and we do have different directions, so let's listen and repeat. Put an X on the longest one. Circle the shortest one. Well, it's the same directions, only we're going with longest instead of tallest. So you look at my lines here, and I'll ask Kylie, which line is longest? The top line, the middle line, or the bottom line? You said the top line, Kylie? You're right. There's the longest one right there. We'll put an X on it. And then it asks us to circle the shortest one. And Brianna, I'm going to have you tell us that one. The top one, the middle one, or the bottom one? You said the middle one. That's right. The middle one is shortest. And then as you go down to the next part, we have the directions, and we're going to listen and repeat. It says, count the units, write the length. Not hard at all. These are called Unifix cubes, and they are the units we're using for measurement today. So you're going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And see where they traced up the end of the unit to the end of what you're measuring? So now we know we've got 10. So our pencil is 10 units long, or 10 cubes long. And then we go down to the paintbrush, and we go from the end of the paintbrush. Remember, do you see how important this is to line those up in the exact same spot? If you lined your units up right here and left this little tail hanging off, it wouldn't be an accurate measurement, would it? No. So you need to make sure that you're lining the ends up right there, as if you were pushing them against a wall, okay? So you want your units to be against the wall, and you want whatever you're measuring to be right against the wall, so that you're measuring accurately. All right, so now all we have to do is count the units that show how long my paintbrush is. And I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I would say my paintbrush is 6 units long. Okay, and there you are. You go ahead and write that in there. Okay, let's go down to the next section. Absolutely, if you need to pause this video, please do. Also, if you have questions, you can have Mom text, or we can set up a Zoom, whatever you need to do to get your questions answered. I am always here. I don't have office hours. My office hours are all the time. So you can get in touch with me anytime you need help. I'm here for you. I love you like that. All right. Okay. So right here, we are using 3 different units. So let's read the directions. It says, write the length to the nearest unit. And this is a key word here, to the nearest unit, because sometimes our units are more or a little bit over the very end of what we're measuring. So it's not always going to end up perfectly. Sometimes you have a little more. If you look right here, so you have a little more paper clip than they have you, than the actual paintbrush. And that's where you use this word about, means almost or around or close to. Okay, that's important right there. Now, the other thing that we've been working on very hard is the nearest unit. And if you can remember back to Bad Behavior Bob, and we're talking about whether he's old enough to push up to the next class, it has to do with if the number is over 5, if it's 5 or over, remember? And the way that you measure a half is written several ways. Half is written like this. Half is written like this. And half is written like this. And we pronounce that 0.5. I'll write it down for you. 0.5. And when we're making numbers, we have 0, 0.1, 0.2. Better put some commas in here. 2, comma, 0.3, comma, 0.4, comma, 0.5, comma, 0.6, comma, 0.7, comma, 0.8, comma, 0.9, comma, and 1. All right, that's a little confusing because we haven't worked with decimal numbers yet. I just want to give you a preview. When you hear 0.5, 0.5 also means half. All right, it's half of a whole. All right, I know that's confusing and it's okay. I just wanted you to hear it first because remember, after you hear it so many times, then it gets in your mind and you automatically know it. Okay, so this is the first time I want you to hear 0.5. 0.5 means half. And it's just like with Bad Behavior Bob, anything 5 and over pushes up. So anything 0.5 and over pushes up to the next number. So coming back to here, if I look at my pennies, see I've got all my pennies right here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pennies. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 paper clips. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cubes. All right. So now I'm measuring a paintbrush. And I lined them all up at the wall. They're all lined up at the wall. So I get a standard, so it's all the same, lined up at the same spot. Now look at my paintbrush, and it wants to know how many pennies long is my paintbrush. So I've got 7 pennies here, and it's over the 6, and it's at the 7, okay? So it is about 7 pennies long because I'm way over 6. I'm very close to 7. So we can say my paintbrush is about 7 pennies long, or almost 7 pennies long. Okay. If I'm looking at my paintbrush or my paper clips here, I see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 paper clips, but it's really close to, I want to change this, about 6 long. Please forgive me. I messed up on this one. It's about 6 pennies long. Because see, we're not over a half here. I'm sorry. I messed up on that. Please forgive me. It's about 6 pennies long, not quite 7 pennies long. All right. And when you're saying about, you can kind of, you want to try to make sure what is over half. So it's to the nearest unit. It's closer to the 6 than the 7. Okay, so we're going to say about 6 pennies long. All right. And my paper clips, my paintbrush is over 4 paper clips long, but not about halfway over. So it's not closer to 5, it's closer to 4. So it's about 4 paper clips long. And then if we go with my units, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units, and that is over half. So we can say it's almost 8 since it's over half. We say about 8. Okay, there you are. Don't forget to fix up this one because I made a mistake when I talked to you about that one. Please fix that one. Okay, and there it is. There's your page for today. Tomorrow, we'll work on page 124. This is the one where you will do a lot of the work on here. And I'll see you later for handwriting. Bye-bye.